Planned Parenthood. And today I have with me Mr. Zachary Pepper. And we're going to have a brief discussion in honor of National Men's Health Week. So we're going to just go and jump right into our questions, if that's okay with you, Mr. Pepper.
Sounds good.
Great, great. Mr. Pepper, tell me, if you would, what do you think that men fail to, why do men fail to go to the doctor?
Well, honestly, I think that that starts at a young age, when men and women, boys and girls in particular, start to go through puberty. Females are taken to the doctor, and they're made to feel comfortable with their bodies because there's a lot of information that they need and a lot of things they have to do to take care of their bodies. Y'all have a lot of internal. Men have external genitalia, so therefore we have a lot less actual problems, maintenance, or upkeep. So when you start to look at the doctor, it really just becomes your yearly checkup, and then that starts to become less important, and it's never reinforced that going to the doctor is important.
Okay, so tell me, what do you think? 2 things that every man should know about his health.
I think that in particular, we as men need to start becoming more comfortable with the doctor. I think that it needs to stop being looked at as a sign of weakness, or the only reason to go is because you need help. And after you get over that initial stigma of going to the doctor, you need to start being on top of your numbers and things like your diabetic level and your cholesterol levels, and you have to start literally owning your own health.
Oh, very good. Okay, great. So tell me, what are your thoughts about prevention?
Well, as you know, I head up the Free Condoms Memphis outreach program here in the city, and prevention and education are the top priority things, I think. You have to start reaching people at a younger age. You have to have them prepared for when puberty comes. You can't just throw them to the wolves in life and just expect people to just understand what happens and what goes on in life. When you start going through those pivotal years, there's a lot of changes. So you got to be prepared for that, and you've got to be on top of prevention. You've got to be on top of education.
And actually, you've just almost answered my next 2 questions, because I wanted you to talk a little bit about the field that you're in, which you just said you are an essential part of the Free Memphis Condom program. But going back, in that field, in the field that you're in, tell me, what do you think, or what have you noticed that most men, the concern that most men have?
Well, most of their concern is, honestly, I think it's a lot more concern than people gave it a lot more credit for. That's why we don't have as much information or in touch with as many men as we think as we should. I think that, especially in my field, I've noticed an overwhelming response to my distribution of prevention products. And I think that men are concerned about getting women pregnant and STDs, and I think that it's just kind of been ignored as another stigma that men just have to deal with. But I really feel that they're starting to become a lot more receptive, and I think that a shift is coming.
Tell me a little bit, because I heard you say stigma. Tell me, what do you mean when you say, what is the stigma?
I think that in general, especially here at Planned Parenthood, we do a lot of focus on women, and I think that in general, we need to branch out to a much more family aspect, including the men. I think we need to start making and putting more responsibility on men. It's not just the female's, mission to take care of her body and a man's body. It's just not. We have to start understanding that men also want to take some responsibility in their own health. And I just think that in general, we are definitely making that shift, and I think that it's starting to become more and more clear that you have to start incorporating both genders. I just think that it's taken a little bit longer for us to focus on the men.
Well, great information. Just two small points that I want to go back to. Earlier, you talked about men knowing their numbers when we talk about preventive health. But I just want to ask you, what one tip would you offer men? A health tip, and what would it be? Your primary health tip.
My primary health tip would have to be becoming more comfortable with your body, honestly. Getting your numbers are important, prevention's important, education's important, but I think that the major thing for men is to start becoming more comfortable with that, and once you become more comfortable with it, you'll start to want more information. You'll start to want more prevention. And they'll start to want to take care of themselves a little bit better. So I think getting over the stigma hump is probably my first bit of real advice. You have to just be okay with it. You have to take care of yourself. You want to live a little bit longer, you got to take care of yourself a little bit sooner.
So what advice would you give the Planned Parenthood family here on things that we could do that would attract more men to come here to this facility? What is it that we can do better here?
I think the only thing that I can honestly think of would be to start understanding, especially from what I've noticed in my outreach, is that men are a lot more receptive than I think women and or Planned Parenthood in general think. I think that, because like I said, I've gotten an overwhelmingly positive response from my outreach, especially from barbershops and, just things like this where men congregate and talk to each other and feel comfortable in their own environments. And just the opportunity, once the opportunity presented itself, they all jumped on it. They were all very excited. So I think just starting to branch out a little bit more and start looking to try, not just talk to the mothers, talk to the fathers, try to get both parents inside, try to get teenage boys and teenage girls together for some peer education. I know that we already started doing that, but I think that's where it's really got to start, from like the ground roots up. Like I think everything that we've done to get to this pivotal point with women, I think the same type of steps need to be taken in the men's direction.
So primarily we need to do more outreach, more education, and basically let the men know what we offer them here.
100%. I mean, we do screening, we do testing, we do prevention, distribution. Just not all men realize that Planned Parenthood does that. Because in a man's mind, when you hear Planned Parenthood, you automatically assume that that's for a woman. And I think that we need to get the word out in general that we're for men too.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Pepper.
No, thank you.
And we will definitely begin to work on the entire family and to let everybody know that here at Planned Parenthood, this is a family facility. Thank you again.
Thank you.